Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Game Vault podcast stream. I'm your host, Mark. Hello, Meta Militia. Hello, Night Duck. Welcome, guys. Sorry for the delay on the start of this. Two reasons. Second one, more important than the first. The first one was to timestamp this a little bit, even though the date is in the title. Today, my beloved Philadelphia Eagles played a playoff game, so I was a little late in preparation because that got over, and then just getting home and doing a whole bunch of stuff, snowstorm, blah, blah, blah. So that put me a little behind. But second, the first thing we're going to do when we switch over to the news, I had to get that all set up, and I was having issues with the green screen with that, and it became an issue that took like 10, 15 minutes longer than it probably should have. So for those of you watching the video version, I hope everything goes well. But for the audio people, you won't notice much of a difference. So we'll see how it goes. So let me start off with what I've been playing. Not much really outside of what we've been streaming. I had a busy schedule this week, and a lot of things. I got added a new thing to the list of jobs I have. I do now do the clock for the amateur wrestling, college wrestling, for Camden County College. So that was another thing I had to do. So not a lot of time for like video games. I'm probably gonna play a whole lot of them tomorrow. And also I was working on my game of the year video, and just to let you know where that's at. I didn't have a chance to mention it because we didn't do a Thursday stream because Tom was sick. I had an issue with the DaVinci software that I use. Every time I tried to render the video, it kept freezing at a certain point, and it's probably a bug or something. So I had to scrap and re-edit the video version of it. So I didn't get much time to do that, to get it out in a timely process to have it during the normal week. So I thought I'd just put it off till Tuesday. So it is done. It's in the hopper. It's good to go. But it will come on tomorrow, Tuesday, for those of you listening live. I have no idea what the issue was or what the problem was, but for some reason it was like stopping the render at like 15% done, and it would still keep counting the time as though I had time left, and it just became a whole thing. So I guess it's kind of what I get for using free software and not buying into Premiere or any of the paid software, but it'll get done, but you guys will see it on Tuesday, so thumbs up. So the only game I've really got to play this week is my comfort game, the game that I can play pretty quickly. I played a lot of NCAA football, playing through another season. I'm probably just going to play until, 26 comes out, just play through this Dynasty thing, unless if I hit the 30-year thing, which I don't know how far I am. I might be halfway through at this point. But yeah, I played a little bit of that. The big thing I did was, while doing that, I watched a lot of GDQ streams that I missed. Bunch of runs there. I watched another streamer, just Capricorns, playing through Final Fantasy VIII, and it's always fun to see people experience that game for the first time. And so that's been basically my week when I've had time. Just playing some NCAA football, catching up on games done quick, and catching Jess's stuff live. But I plan on Monday, when you're hearing this, I've probably already done it. Outside of the 2 hours or so that I have to watch the movie for TC Tam this week, I am going to play as much Infinite Wealth, and if I get bored of that, maybe jump over to something else. But it's really just a dead period in terms of new stuff out, so I'm hoping to get through Infinite Wealth to do that, because I think it's February. I have Avowed coming. That's when I'm going to be doing the new show for you guys, which in the comments or in the YouTube video or on our Blue Sky account or in the chat here, if you can come up with a name for that. I have a name for a couple shows that I was thinking of, but I can't really think of one for me where I play a game. I use the Quick Look format, but I can't use that because that's already been used. Not that they'll come after me for copyright. We're not that big. I saw JP has a thing he calls JPeak, for this type of deal. But I was just trying to think of play off the mark or Game Vault Pod or some like fun name for the video when I play these new games for the first few hours of them. So if you guys can rattle something, brainstorm it. We have plenty of streams coming up that you'll be able to. Maybe we'll come to something. But I think Avowed's going to be the first game we do this for. So you do have some time. Remember, if we do like streaming the game together, it might become a thing, a way to force me to play new games. In that I will stream them, and not just get sucked into playing NCAA when I have free time. So yeah, continuing on, a couple fun things in NCAA. I don't know. I haven't been able to research on Reddit if this is a known bug. I'll write that down. In the chat, Night Duck says off the marquee showing. That could be a good one. I had an idea, like, I know we already did Retro Roulette, and I already took Retro Roulette Endurance Run. I'm thinking for a segment where we pull out, like, one of our favorite old games, just to show off on the stream, or maybe play through it or something. I was saying we could call it Going Into the Vault, or, something like Going Into the Game Vault, or, something like that, or Out of the Vault, or something using the word vault to bring up for an old game. That was another new show I'm thinking of, but may not come. I don't know how we would actually do that. And that's very, very much on the back burner. But anyway, the opening for some of the schools, like when they run into the field, some of them are broken. Like literally Penn State's, who I play, it seems to be the ones that they took a lot of time on. Like I haven't played Michigan yet because it feels like the big ones, like Michigan's, Penn State's, Clemson's, the ones that have, like, everybody knows they have this big thing they do. Clemson is run down the hill, Michigan hit the Go Blue sign, Penn State has the drum major doing the flip, running out from the gate, all that stuff. Those all tend to seem broken. I get the scene where, for those of you that played, the Nittany Lion runs up, he opens the gate, and then the team comes through. And then he runs them onto the field, and then the flags go, and then the drum major, and, all that stuff. He goes and opens the gate, and when he turns around, I get just a static shot of some of the band members just animating real weirdly playing the band, and it just stays there. It's not a soft lock. I can hit A and get out of it, but it just freezes on that thing of something you're not even supposed to see. I don't know what the bug is. I'll probably check Reddit. Maybe everybody's having it, but that's been a weird bug I've been having lately. Hasn't affected gameplay at all. Gameplay's been great. Haven't had any real bugs with that. No really weird tackles or any of the Madden stuff that normally comes up. Yeah, we're still kicking good with that. I think that honestly that's all I've played. I know there's we're not going to get deep into it because then we just spend way too much time talking about it, but there are a couple streams that or GDQ stuff that I would highly recommend for those of you out there if you haven't watched stuff already. There is a 2 people 1 controller run of, I believe it's Breath of the Wild. It's Breath of the Wild, which is pretty insane. That one's pretty, because of all the like specific timing you have to do in that speed run. That one was pretty cool to watch. The best thing to watch, fun wise, or at least it was fun to me. They did a speed run of the map randomizer for Super Metroid. Which had, 2 of my favorite streamers on there. One for Link to the Past that has Andy on there, and then Oates was there as well. He's more of the Super Metroid runner, and there were a couple others. I guess it's a big group. I haven't really, in about a year and a half, really followed like race leagues and stuff like that. But this new map randomizer is so yeah, the what's called what it is they took a program and like fed it stuff, and it would like randomize the map of using logic and all that stuff to sort of just randomize the map of Super Metroid. That's what's in the name, but it's a program they worked on for years. It's pretty cool how they described it and how it works. And the race is really, really good. Not going to spoil it for you guys. It's a fun watch. It's the last thing they do, I believe, on the stream. So you have them building up to, I think, over 2.5 million or something raised. So that was fun. The Final Fantasy VII, I think it's Rebirth speedrun is pretty interesting. I think that's the one. There's one where they had an unbelievable, I think, I forgot, I have to look back now. But there's one of them, you can go to the Games Done Quick YouTube and find it, but there's one where it's like a 6-hour speedrun, for games like that. And they, at the last moment, got like a special donation, or a special, like, thing they were going for, that you would put the donations towards. And it, like, happened, like, right at the very, very, very last moment. So, yeah. Yeah, so it was Rebirth. So, yeah, it was pretty cool. Obviously, if you don't like that game, you're probably not going to watch it. But I like, the moment I'm more giving you is that build-up to getting that incentive met, was pretty cool. Because it was literally, like, last moment, like, literally, they, right before the cutoff, they got it. And that's usually pretty cool with those streams. There's some fun ones that I haven't been able to really watch in full. There's a Shenmue one. The fun part about that is that they were doing it probably in the middle of the night, because there's like one person sitting in the audience behind them while they were streaming it. The Yakuza, they played the original from PS2, or the Japanese PS3 one, which was an HD upgrade or something. That one's a pretty cool one to go to watch. But yeah, just go on the playlist. It's awesome. I've been watching a bunch of them this week. A lot of them are in short bursts. I like the longer ones, like an hour or more. Oh, yes, Crazy Taxi with the live band. That's it. That was my number one. Thank you for reminding me. To get over the copyright of all the Offspring songs in the Crazy Taxi, they had a live band cover every song in the game. Go watch that. It's spectacular. I'm sure they were able to get it through YouTube. I watched it live. Or if not live, I watched it through the Twitch. Like, you can watch back while it's still going live. Yeah, I didn't watch it on YouTube, so I don't know if it made it through to YouTube, but go watch that. That's number one. Thank you, Night Duck, for reminding me of that. But yeah, it was a great event this year. I think they raised like almost 2.6 million. Yeah, it's a for the Prevent Cancer Fund, I believe it's called. But yeah, and then Summer Games Done Quick coming up. But yeah, it was a great event this year. So I always point it out every year. We're probably a week past it, but I usually play catch up a week or two out. And when I even mention it on the original, Podcast Prime, and the I would mention it around this time every year. So, and about 2 weeks out from Games Done Quick, or Summer Games Done Quick. So yeah, that was mainly my week there. And yeah, I don't think there's anything else in terms of that stuff. So what we're gonna do, for those of you watching on Twitch and YouTube, you will get to see the video that's going to be attached to what I'm switching to. For those of you watching audio, you're just going to get our reaction to what's on the video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play and sort of scroll back and forth through things. This is where my fingers are crossed with the interactive part of OBS. the trailer for the Nintendo Switch 2. And we can talk a little bit about what we see here, and then I'm going to go into half my news is about all the stuff that was announced and what has come since. And then, we'll see if we have time for any of the other stuff on there. So let me switch on over. And I'm going to hit play on this. And then we should be able to go back and forth. Let me know if it's too loud. As well, I can adjust that on the fly. Because, see, I can get my mouse on screen. I tried to block that out so you don't see the mouse. But alright, so here we go. You probably all have seen this before, but we can talk about it together here. Yeah, so first off, I love the idea of it being the Switch 2 and not some Super Switch or some weird name there. Hold on, I don't know why this is playing in 240p. There we go. Yeah, so I do love the sleeker design of it. The one thing that the kickstand here is real good. Quick pause here, because from what I can tell, you can have it in 2 different levels. Like, this works better where it's currently at here when I'm thinking airplane, playing with the Pro Controller like this rather than up like this in a more stand-up position. New Nintendo Switch. Like the new 3DS, yeah. I get that. That's pretty good. So, being more upright is a little bit harder. I feel like that would be, on a flat surface when you're sort of above it. Having it a little more like this would work better. And I saw people getting upset that the Joy-Cons are just mostly black this time. But with the accents. But they didn't announce the weird colors until, what's it called? Till the full announcement, which the direct at the end here. Yeah. I like this design with the accents. I'm always I do like the colored stuff, but I got the black controllers for my Nintendo Switch. Yep, and here is the mouse thing. Yeah, you can sort of see, if you can see here, this right underneath here, I don't know if my mouse is coming up on the screen, but right next to that, I guess it's a ZR button, that definitely looks like an IR sensor. Yeah. I guess, yeah, that's the one thing is, with my adult hands, I had to buy the thing that made it a little more better so my hands didn't cramp for the first Switch, and maybe this one will be better. Who knows? It'll probably be the same thing, but this looks like an IR sensor right here, next to the ZL button, next to the thing that locks in the charge. So that's probably definitely how they're doing the tracking with the mice there. Yeah, still got that mystery button that everybody is saying is a C button on there. We can, let me see when they give me that red Joy-Con. There we go. That right there below the home button. People are saying that's a C button. What I have seen said what the C button is going to be is sort of like maybe like a push to talk feature, which would be kind of cool for like headset and stuff like that, for talking while playing online. That'd be a pretty cool placement for push to talk, to be honest. If you're going to have that dedicated button instead of dedicating a button in the game or on the controller already to do that, to have a button itself be only that is pretty cool, because the blue side still has the screensaver or the screenshot button on it. So this is definitely a new button below the home button here. Could control a second screen experience. True. That's true as well. There's a lot they could do, but everybody has seen like a design that just says C on it, which would make sense with Nintendo. That's the only button they haven't brought back from any of their things in the past. And the magnetic clicking in will feel a lot better to me than what's it called? The slide. The rails always made me freak me out. Let's see something I just noticed on the back. Are these buttons, or is that how you unmagnetize? Right below the back buttons here. Huh. I would think it's maybe the unmagnetized buttons, because they're in the same location on both. That's the first time I noticed that. There. Yeah. It's the release, yeah. Huh. Because if I remember last time, they were a little less prominent. Huh. Interesting. So here's the big thing, Mario Kart. If we go back, a lot of people have been, I don't know how I do single thing, but these little starting things, there's 24 of them on the screen. So people are theorizing, unless it's been confirmed, I haven't really seen it, that it might be 24 players. Yeah. Yeah, all this is very reminiscent of, in a less high production value way, of how they did the Switch 1 launch. That was the rooftop thing, that was all that stuff. That was the guy with the dog when he went out to play Zelda. This is this similar type of trailer that was, but this is just literally just showing off the hardware. So I wonder what the certain Switch games, third parties maybe, or things. I wonder if there's a thing the Switch 2 will not have. Like, I don't know. I'm assuming it's a third party thing, because I don't know what the Switch 2 would have that would stop an old. Like, normally old doesn't get stopped by new unless if it's something stupid like, I think it was Tearaway or whatever, for the Vita had the back buttons or the back thing, that only the Vita had, or the Vita had something that it only had and nothing else had, so they couldn't port it anywhere. I think it was Tearaway, but I'm just trying to figure out what, and you can already see here how much bigger it'll be. I'm imagining, I think this is 7, I think this is going to be about 8 or 9, maybe, handheld. It's pretty much going to be the size of the Steam Deck, I would imagine, but, yeah, I'm curious to see what games won't play, because I don't know how backwards. And they're April 2nd. We'll be commenting on this live. Not live if it's like in the morning. And what is April 2nd? Like a Tuesday? I'm gonna pull up my calendar real fast. It is a Wednesday. But it is very curious that this is a couple days after fiscal. I'm assuming this trailer is to get investors excited through the rest of fiscal 2024, and then this date is how the April 2nd, 2025 date is how you get investors excited going forward in fiscal year 2025. So that date is not just a random one they picked out, obviously. It's very, very telling. So I can't wait for that, because that should probably have more. We're going to be talking about this in the news, about the hands-on events. So yeah, that was the first look at the Switch 2 there, so I can close out of this. Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. With the backwards compatibility, that's two things. I'll switch over. Let me switch over to the news, so we can talk about it here. Unless if it's something really, really big, step up wise, technology wise, that'll improve the old games, I'll need to see something. I'll need to get it day one, and not wait it out. But yeah, so what's been confirmed? It is coming out in 2025. But the release date is not firm, but it definitely will not be released before June. I'm thinking it's between September and November would be my thought. I think it will probably, my thought is, if it's not out now, like end of fiscal 2024, they're going to put it after TGS, just so it can be at TGS before release. So that's your September to November time frame, because TGS is usually August, September. I think it's beginning of September. So yeah, it is definitely larger than the Switch. So it'll be a little bit bulkier in the thing. We noticed that in the video itself. The Joy-Con snap-on, obvious. It has this new little thing here that can be used as a mouse. A lot of this we already talked about. Mysterious C button here. Has two USB-C 3 ports. One at the top and one at the bottom. The Switch only had one. I'm assuming... I don't want to click on that here. That's why it's significant. But yeah. It'll play physical and digital Switch games. Maybe it's some of the digital stuff. Maybe that's the stuff that won't work. Who knows? This is definitely Mario Kart 9. Because this is nothing we've seen before. Unless they're going to do new things for 8. But it's got to be 9. It's one of the highest selling games, if not the highest selling game on the last 2 consoles. Or last 3 consoles. If you count the 3DS. So, I won't be shocked if that's on there. And the hands-on events, which is this thing here. They're going to be having throughout the spring and summer. So there are events in New York, Los Angeles, and Chicago. Registration has already begun. I will probably click on that after this is done, just to see if we randomly. Let me just open a new tab here. I'll drag that over to the end. Here. So they are doing, let's see, the New York event takes place from April 4th to 6th. The Los Angeles event is April 11th to 13th. The Dallas event is April 25th to 27th. And then Toronto has one April 25th to 27th. Paris has one April 4th to April 6th. London, April 11th to April 13th. Milan is April 25th to 27th. Berlin from April 25th to 27th. Madrid from May 9th to May 11th. Amsterdam from May 9th to May 11th. Melbourne in Australia, May 10th and 11th. And Tokyo is April 26th and 27th. Seoul is May 30th, 31st to June 1st. And then Hong Kong and Taipei have later dates. So this June 1st date here shows me that it will not be out before June 1st. And with 2 more things not even scheduled, that's why I'm thinking September would be the date. So yeah, so I am definitely going to go register for that. Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying. We were saying Night Duck. Just because I know I haven't fixed this above me, so I'm just going to read what he says for those of you watching the video, and especially for those in audio. Um, Summer is a major handheld gaming time for him, so maybe there will be a game that changes my mind. He's hesitant to get this because he likes his Switch Lite a lot, and I agree with that. Switch Lite was a great idea for them. I still wish they would have called this the Switch Heavy. But that's just a good inside joke bit that I only I probably laugh at. But yeah, I think it was what me and Tom were saying too, Jonathan, is that unless if there's some big technological thing that'll help with the Switch games I already own, and there's cloud saves or whatever, then I'll go day one. But outside of that, it needs to have a game. Like, I need like new Mario, new Zelda, something like that. I'm not a Metroid Prime guy, so that won't get me to buy. Mario Kart 8 I can get whenever. That's not a day one purchase game. So maybe there's another game that pops up on there. But yeah, I need Mario or Zelda for me to go day one. So yeah. So if you live in any of those countries, for those of you listening, make sure to go to Nintendo's website to sign up. I'm probably going to sign up. I'll see if I can put in a sweepstakes for all 3 cities. Maybe I can make a little mini vacation out of it if I get picked for Dallas or LA. But yeah.
What are you buying?
Hey, Roxy.
What are you
How
selling?
you doing? Yep, just talking about the Switch 2 here. We are thinking about buying Nintendo Switch 2. And moving on real fast, I'll switch this over. So I can get back to the chat. Hey, Dan, how you doing? Just talking Switch 2 here. The Super Mario Brothers movie appears to have influenced the characters in Mario Kart 9. Everybody noticed that the Donkey Kong character. Time to switch to a new topic. Hey! Waka waka waka. And a reference half of our Gen Z audience will not get, or all of it. That the Donkey Kong here, on the third photo on the right, let me see if I didn't scroll up. Oh, no, it's still there for you guys. Is more in line with the movie, which is the guy in the center, than the Donkey Kong listed in Mario Kart here. This could also be a different Kong. That's not Donkey Kong, like one of the other Kongs as well. But I would imagine this is Donkey Kong, and maybe they are trying to tie in the movie more with it. Look how they massacred my boy. Yeah, I'm not totally shocked that they are taking some of the features from the movie, I don't think they're going to do voice stuff and all that, but I think they're going to try to make it synergy, to just make it easier for younger fans to sort of not be confused by what they see here. So, yeah. That. Go get Danny. Roxy is chasing the baby around the basement, so she will be right back for those of you in chat. So this is the deep dive into Mario Kart 9. So yeah, did they list? No, they just talk about it in sentences. So we'll just look at the photos here. So yeah, they only one track was shown. Seemed to be the first race in the first cup available, and simply titled Mario Brothers Circuit. The plain name is, normal practice for most Mario Kart games. Mario and Luigi, Waluigi and Wario are there. Bowser, Yoshi, Toad, Peach, Daisy, Rosalina, Pauline, Donkey Kong was there as well. And it appears to be Baby Mario, Baby Luigi, and Toadette. Visible. Though can barely be made out, Baby Rosalina and Bowser Jr. are likely candidates. So that's what they were able to find through there. But here are just some of the photos. Let me see. How's that looking on your screen? Okay, I'm going to try and... let's see. Can I work that on the screen? No, because it's going to... Shit. Okay. Let's just for this, let's move this up here. I'll need to move that down when I switch stories. So that's the overlay here. Yeah, you can see Mario Brothers Circuit there. Got some advertisements, Luigi's Tires. Yeah, so you see Rosalina. You see they got a crowd. They even got a Toad doing a camera here. Yeah, it looks like these are snowmobiles. At least that's a snowmobile. Go off-road and on regular courses. Something called MKTV. There. So yeah, you can get some zoom ups. You know, this is clicking the screenshot camera while watching the trailer. Yoshi's Diner. Yeah, so that was Mario Kart 9 news there. And yep, I gotta move this back. There we go. Okay. Right, next on the list. Is just predicting games. I think this came out before the announcement, so some of this stuff maybe old news or anything like that. But of course, Mario Kart 9, definitely doing a new 3D Super Mario. Metroid Prime 4, we all know they definitely held that off for a Switch 2 release. It should have been out by now. For regular Switch, they'll probably do this. Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom enhanced in some way. Do that. Ring Fit Adventure 2. I would imagine they would want to get some kind of peripheral or something in there for it. For sure. Resident Evil 4 Remake. If that can handle the power of that game, it definitely... Resident Evil 4 has a history. People played that game on the Wii. So Doom: The Dark Ages. This is all, again, without knowing the specs. Yeah, for that. The Elder Scrolls 4 Remake. Here's a big thing that has another story we're doing earlier. Halo 2, the Master Chief Collection. I wouldn't be surprised if Delta's there either. Whether it's the same game, who knows? And then it has these Haunted Chocolatier, Earthblade, smaller games that might pop up on there. What is it? Nindies, they're called. Yeah. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they launch with it. Nothing on that list outside of the new Super Mario Brothers game will get my attention. You do know what game would get my attention? If they put Wind Waker HD on Switch 2. Then I would buy the system day one. Nintendo? Miyamoto? You listening? Wind Waker HD on Switch 2. You get this guy's purchase on day one. You have to do it. I won't be asking anymore. Okay? I will not be asking anymore. So that was our Nintendo Switch news. Feel free. Go off in the comments on YouTube. Hit us up on Blue Sky. Just your thoughts, predictions for Switch 2. Will you be getting one day one? Will you be waiting like us? yeah, to see, have you said, hey, Mark, I already have a Steam Deck. Why do I need a Switch 2? Fair. But mainly if you love Nintendo games, essentially. So, yeah. Yeah, let us know that. And we'll probably be talking about this on Podcast Prime as well. So, yeah, we have a lot of stuff. The CES stuff, this. A lot of good topics for the first podcast. We got to get to scheduling that. All right, so moving on. Fun news for Tom. To celebrate did I have the photo of it? No, it's just going to be in this thing. So to celebrate Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, getting Steam Deck verified. I don't know if it was. I think it was Square. It might have been Steam or whatever. Create it, as you can see on screen, and I'll describe for those of you listening on the audio. They made a Chocobo Steam Deck. It is just a fuzzy Steam Deck with Chocobo feathers coming out the back of it with a beak. So it sort of looks like a Chocobo's face. If you sort of take the two big squares and they put a little beak at the bottom. It is definitely nightmare fuel, but it also would probably overheat the system. So I don't think it's going to be sold. Yeah. So it's just a funny marketing thing. As it says, one of Vi's wrapping high-tech gear in fur. So yes, so Rebirth got Steam Deck verified, so that system is kick-ass. I thought it was pretty funny that they did this. So, yeah. Some Etsy ideas there. All right. Just a weird fun thing. We can be real quick on this. Apparently, Marvel Snap was part of the TikTok ban. It'll probably be back up in the next day or two. It's probably back up by the time you hear this podcast if you're listening to the audio or YouTube version, because TikTok came back real fast. The main reason is Marvel Snap was owned by ByteDance as well, which is the company that owned TikTok. So it got shut down along with a bunch of other stuff. And apparently the developer and publisher of the game had no idea that it would be lumped in with the TikTok ban. So, yeah, just some crazy news. So we're going to be seeing a lot of crazy shit with this China stuff with the new administration coming in going forward. This is just the collateral damage that'll happen for something entirely stupid like this. So, moving on. And this is what I mentioned. Halo looks to make the jump to the PlayStation this year. The Microsoft said there were no red lines with the first-party lineup when it came to going multi-platform. Nate the Hate, who has been good with some of his leaks recently, said that Microsoft finally bring Halo to PlayStation in form of the Master Chief Collection, as well as putting it out on Switch 2. Windows Central, which is a more Microsoft Xbox Central thing, corroborated the report. While no comment, obviously, from Microsoft, their strategy of going multi-platform is well known at this point, so I wouldn't be surprised. The only thing I think they're going to do this, but I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of first-party stuff makes the jump to Switch 2. With Microsoft wanting to make some kind of inroads in Japan. And even if it's just on the software side, putting things on Switch 2 may be a way to do that. Maybe you find a way on the Switch 2 to say to Nintendo, hey, let us put Game Pass on there. And maybe you make some kind of inroads in the Japanese market that if you put out a handheld in 4 years, you can clean up in Japan because people are already aware of your games. And you won't have to compete because your thing will probably be better than the Switch 2. So you can go, hey, you can play on there, but you can also play on this better thing that we made. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with that. But yeah, this was pretty fun to see and speculate about. I would say there's a pretty high chance that a lot of first-party Microsoft games come to Nintendo Switch 2. PlayStation, outside of the stuff that's already needed to go to it, like certain Activision stuff, I don't know if they'll do that. But it could happen. You know, they're just, at this point, they spent so much money acquiring studios, they got to make that money back somehow. There shouldn't be a red line anymore, to be honest, because world's first Halo jump. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, so I don't think console exclusives make people buy systems anymore, and that just might be me. I think Nintendo is a unique thing because Nintendo games are so... whatever hardware Nintendo puts out, that porting those to another system is usually kind of tough. But yeah, in terms of Sony and Microsoft, their games can come cross-platform, and it may look better on one than the other, essentially, is the difference. They don't have any weird different controls. Only difference between the two is really that touchpad on the PS5. So yeah. I guess that's another way of putting it. Exclusives do make people buy systems, but Microsoft exclusives don't. That could be true. I just think that I guess it's true in the sense that, you know, how to phrase it, what I'm thinking, because I'm like 75% of the way there with Night Duck. With that, you know, the exclusives make people buy systems, because that is true. It's 100% true. He's right there. The 25% thing is, I don't think it makes sense to limit your software sales to hardware anymore, because I don't think you're going to make enough back by having a game exclusive to the console. Now, can it be exclusive for the first year? Sure. First 18 months? Sure. Yeah. But I think for these companies to make the money back and us to keep getting high budget AAA stuff, I would think they would need to branch out to things that are not the PC as well. And maybe it's a way to siphon people over to other systems. But yeah, and to say the Night Duck comment, which is absolutely true, people would buy a PlayStation for Spider-Man, but no one would buy an Xbox for Starfield. And that is correct. Yeah. It might just be a Microsoft exclusive problem, but I just think in the money-making scenario, I think eventually things need to be cross-platform. Just for them to make the money back for what they spend, because no system sells enough to double the profit. If you know what, I don't know if I'm wording this right, and sometimes I'm not really great at wording exactly what I'm thinking, but if you have a game that you could sell on two platforms, like if Microsoft sold 50 million systems and Sony sold 100, you can make more money if you sell, you know, to half, like 50 and 20, like if only half the people that bought the system bought it for your game, you put it on the other one, you get another 25 million people to buy your game and upgrades and all that stuff. I think they should definitely do it for any live service stuff, for sure. But yeah, it just comes down to, I don't know the economics of the companies, and I will say I'm completely wrong, maybe, in some of this thinking, but I think everything should be console timed exclusive. I think it's dumb for the companies to be 100% exclusive. That's true. Yeah. If you, I'll just read the exact comment because it's true. It's a discussion where I could be completely wrong here, but that's just my thoughts. I just think it's it's dumb to limit yourself, but maybe there is a economic thing. I'm not an economist, nor did I do very well in econ in college. Um, I just know the basics. So if someone buys a PlayStation for Spider-Man and then they become a whale in Genshin on that same PlayStation, then Sony makes 20% of that, and that's true. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I think console wars and exclusivity are a thing of the past anymore. Moving on to news exclusively for myself and maybe Metal Militia. College football is coming back in 2026. I was afraid they might do every other year. But they are, but we will find out more shortly, probably at Summer Games Fest for sure. But yeah, they will be coming back. It was sold 2.2 million. It even sold better than Madden. I agree with this. I think this is what I've been saying all year, except I would have given it higher than a 7 out of 10. College Football 20, this is from the IGN review. College Football 25 nails the on-field action with dynamic feel, stellar graphics, and tons of smart gameplay tweaks. 100% understand. The on-field stuff when you're playing it is amazing. However, so much of what off the field feels unfinished, with UI issues, yes, and bare bones modes that seem like they are waiting for a rebuild next season. 100% true. And that is what I'm waiting on in 26, is a lot of the small little stuff. Yeah, but it's, like I said, all the stuff that I complained about is like stuff that could be taken care of next year. The announcers not saying players' names, better, UI stuff in terms of as seasons go along. There's a dumb bug that I don't know if it's a bug or if they can even do it, is that your coaching thing, I don't know how to describe it, but it shows you your records and the bowls you've won and stuff like that. It only tracks it for the team you're coaching. It doesn't follow your stuff. So when I switched jobs, I literally used my phone and took a photo of my last little grid to just show off, like as a joke to Tom, like, oh, look, I won 7 of 8 national championships, because I knew immediately when I switched teams, it would erase all of that. It's still on my record. It still says I've won those 7 national titles and I've won all this stuff, but it doesn't have that visual anymore. And now it just shows me the record of Penn State before I got there. So that's a thing they could fix. And I think they could do some more with music in the menus and just stuff in general. But they nailed like 90% of it. And the final 10% is stuff they can fix in 1 year or 2. I think number one, they need to build the franchise mode a little bit better. There's some weird things missing, like the stuff I mentioned, and the announcer thing. But yeah, maybe, but it is coming back. It's going to be a yearly release, which I do think is a good idea. And finally, we get the PlayStation Plus catalog for January 2025. Down here, the PlayStation Plus games added additions for January 2025. God of War Ragnarok, Like a Dragon, The Man Who Erased His Name, Atlas Fallen, Reign of Sand, SD Gundam Battle Alliance, Sonora Wild Hearts, Anno Multium? Orcs Must Die 3, Citizen Sleeper, Poker Club, which is only on PS4, Indiana Jones and the Staff of Kings, and Medieval 2. And that Sonora Wild Hearts is just a PS4 as well. And the Atlas Fallen Reign of Sand is PS5. So let me see if these, because they have those tiers. This is on the extras tier, and 2 on the premium tier. So go on your PlayStation and see which one is which for you guys. But yeah, here's some shots of those games. But yeah. Yeah, for those of you buying in the PlayStation, that's not just so you can play on the internet. If you're the second and third tiers, you might be getting some new games here. So, yeah, so that'll do it. Let me go back to Big Mark. So that'll do it. Yeah, like I said, thank you for joining me. A lot of Switch 2 talk. We can keep it up in the comments, in the chat. Blue Sky. I'm going to dive into Discord and maybe have that up every time and see if people have posted stuff in there. It's probably going to be a little barren at first until we get started or do it. Or it'll be always barren. Who knows? But yeah, I would like to have conversations started there. So, as well. So, yeah. Thank you guys for joining me. Stream schedule this week. We have Adventure Island. Oh, I forgot to mention Adventure Island. Yes. That was the one game I did stream last week. I got the furthest I ever got. I beat 2 bosses. We're 2 levels, 2 acts or worlds or whatever through the game. I think Tom said there's 8. So we're hoping to have it done in a month if I can do 2 per stream, but I don't know how much more difficult they get. We are using save states. I have a process, which you've listened to the video and watch it, you will see as to how I save state. We're just looking to beat the game because it is a wild and crazy game that is like really weird. Hudson's Adventure Island, weird game I played throughout my childhood. So that'll be coming back on Monday. I may or may not stream something else on Monday. It is Martin Luther King Day. If you're listening to this live, so if you're watching this or listening to this throughout the day, I may have streamed, I may not have streamed. We'll see how it goes. I may just use my day off to just lay around. Or just play a lot of like a Dragon Infinite Wealth to get as much of it done as possible. So, yeah, we'll get through and do that. But yeah. So that's Monday. Thursday we are back with starting up the final bit of Chrono Trigger. Tom was sick last week, so we took the week off, but we will get started this Thursday. Remember, no Saturday stream. I'm still looking to record the What the Kids Are Playing 2024 games review with the podcast favorite niece, Kitty Ashcat. She requested it, as I mentioned last week. I didn't even bring it up to her. She asked when she could be on the podcast next. And I'm like, yep, we're going to figure this out because she now has a microphone and we can do it over Discord. I don't have to go to her house and she doesn't have to come to my house. So make it easier to schedule. So that'll be coming out at some point in the next couple weeks. And then Sunday we'll be back for game for the news hour. And then starting in February, I think it'll be February by this point, will be last week of January, beginning of February, we'll be starting our full slate of streaming. So you'll have Monday, Tuesday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Saturday and Sunday afternoons, depending on if I have anything going on, will be when I would stream Avowed or the games in the new thing we do. Just kind of use up that time. If there's going to be a new game I'm going to be playing a lot, maybe I play it all for you. It'll be a way to get me to play it and not be lazy and just play sports games. That's where I got kind of in a rut near the end as I play a lot of catch up late in the year for Game of the Year. So maybe if I'm forced to play with you guys, we will. And then Saturday, February 2nd, we will be starting Trails in the Sky, second chapter. I need to watch the final episode to see the ending. I know there's a cliffhanger ending thing that occurs that I got to remember so that I know going in. Or maybe I watch a lore video or something. I don't know. But yeah, that'll be February 2nd. So be on the lookout for that. I believe it's this. It'd be the 1st. It'd be February 1st, right? Hold on. Yep, February 1st. So February 1st, not 2nd. Will be when we start that. And then, yeah, let's keep it on YouTube. A bunch of videos are going to go up this week of stuff just to get you caught up. And by the end of this week and maybe early next week, you will be caught up with everything we streamed. So we should be able to upload new stuff a couple days out from when they go live. That is the goal on YouTube. Try and keep that as live as possible. And we might be getting YouTube exclusive stuff. So talking it over with Tom and Jen for things. I think Tom rearranged his gaming room and might want to update his gaming thing and put that video on there. I might have some stuff that has nothing to do with me playing video games on there. Or maybe we can do that that In the Vault thing where we do an exclusive YouTube video of an old game we love to play and just play it a little bit and talk about it and just do something like that for there. Yeah. GVP Cribs. Yeah, there we go. That's the name for it, Tom. And maybe once I get this room cleaned up, I'm about 95% of the way there. I just got to clean off there behind the green screen here. There's a lot of my gaming stuff is back there that I was going to be using for a background, but the way this camera works, it was like showing my closet, and it was too weird. Yeah, I might eventually just make this a no green screen thing for some things, or maybe we keep going with the green screen, but I will video that and show off some of the stuff I have there. Show off my Zelda wall back out in the living room that I put up for the original background when I first moved here, but Game Ball Cat was too annoying during TC Tam that I needed to come in here to be able to shut a door to be able to record TC Tam. So, all right. Thank you guys for joining me, and we'll see you tonight for some more Adventure Island. Bye!